the fascinating and ever-changing world of agriculture. Let's hit the road here in Georgia and meet the farmers, producers, makers, and bakers who keep us all fed and keep us coming back for more. Straight ahead at the Fork in the Road.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand.
Georgia farmers, artisans, merchants, and producers, we depend on these men and women every day of our lives through the choices we make and the food we consume. Their strategy and approach is always shifting, but the end game remains the same: result. This episode may be stating the obvious. Georgia is the peach state. A deserving title, and there's still hardworking Georgia peach farmers and packers out there keeping this legendary peach available at farmers markets around the South and on grocery shelves all over America. Let's begin this episode down in Fort Valley, right in the heart of peach country, where a farming family shares some rich history and, of course, sweet peaches. This roadside store, once an old school, is also known for housing the world's largest peach on record. They've still got the picture and a statue to scale, boasting its awesomeness. However, there's also several other varieties and sizes of tasty peaches that grow well in this rich Georgia soil that you can find here. The store, connected to the impressive packing house for all to see and enjoy while they shop, is worth a stop for sure. But what I also discovered while visiting Pearson Farm was a sweet dose of Georgia peach history. Al and Lawson Pearson still head up the company and have teamed with their cousin Will McGee, another fifth-generation peach farmer, to help grow this Georgia peach brand, combining many more peachy families. A success story we'll touch on later, but first, Will takes us back in time.
My mother was Ann Pearson McGee. She was a Pearson. She's fourth generation. I'm fifth generation. This was her grandparents' house, the porch we're sitting on right now, and peach farming's in our blood. Where we're talking today is kind of the epicenter of where our family started growing peaches since 1885. You see behind me, this was the old Leappope Hotel. And it's historical in the fact that peaches require so much hand labor in a very short amount of time. We only need you for about 100 days during the summer, and then what do you do the rest of the year? And so what had to happen is each farm had to build what we call that a hotel. It's basically a boarding house where kids would come to Fort Valley each summer and they would room together, they would meet each other here, and we would send someone to the railroad downtown. We would have a sign, need 12 today, and carloads of kids would come to Fort Valley because this is where the summer work was. And you'd live in that place for 6 or 7 weeks, meeting folks you'd never seen before. You'd work in peaches together, kind of like a summer camp, but you get paid. The walls in there are actually signed in some of the rooms where kids would meet, and this is where they stayed. There'd be 32 girls and 32 boys. Girls on the bottom floor, boys on the top floor. These are picking bags, so it's like a book bag for the front of your body, open up top. So as you're picking the tree, you're dropping peaches in here, then you get over the crate that's going to the packing house and you pull the bottom out and the peaches flow out the bottom into the crate. So it's just a peach picking bag.
These hotel walls have stood the test of time. As Will and any building preservation expert will tell you, you keep the roof up to date, the rest of the house will last a whole lot longer.
But we have these old ledger books of receipts of peaches picked and packed from years ago. So these are some canceled checks from 1913 of who the Pearsons were writing checks to. And this was, the bank would give them back, I guess, and they would go through. And so we've just got thousands of these checks throughout the years. What do you do with them? I don't know, but we still got them, so we have them right here. Moses, our founder, he died when he was 48 years old. And he had 8 children and his wife, Emma. and she ran the farm with 8 children by herself, and her oldest was Papa John Pearson, who we come from. And Papa John was they called him the Hammer. And before he took over, at some point, we don't know when it was, but she had done an inventory of all the mules on the farm, and she was putting the farm up for auction. This was right around the Great Depression, and nobody bought the farm, obviously, because we're still here. But this was an interesting piece of history that we found, this piece of paper where she listed all of her mules, the color, the age, and what they named them. Kay, Annie, Jim, Jack, Min, Ella, Maddie, Maud, Belle, Joe, Bess, Pearl, Dolly, Roddy, Ricky. All those were the names of their mules back then. It's kind of cool. Clyde. This is one of the spots where you can kind of see on the wall the girls that stayed in here signed the wall. It says, I am leaving Leappope today for St. Louis, Missouri. May God bless you all, for I cannot. Yours truly, Star Cobb, July 8th, 1912. Some of these guys, we found out years later that this guy, Henry Boughton, was a very influential Atlanta attorney. And he signed this door in June 1927 and went on to be attorney there. Edwin Isom from 1919, Pat Wilkes from 1919. So they would just kind of sign the door and say that they were here. Just a neat little slice of Georgia history. You know, this is kind of where it began for our family, and are proud of our heritage. We are. Georgia peach is, like you said, it's iconic. I mean, it is whether you go to Minnesota, California, Florida, Canada, wherever you go and you say the word peach, the next word out of everybody's mouth is, oh, you're from Georgia? And it's kind of a neat thing. It's kind of our signature fruit for the state, and we're just honored to be a part of that legacy. We have a special climate here in Georgia where there's a lot of peaches grown in other places, but peaches from Georgia are special for several different reasons. We grow in this amazing red clay here in Middle Georgia where our orchards are, and the clay gives the peaches so much goodness and nutrients, and it's a great place to grow trees, first of all. Our climate is amazing because we get enough cold in the winter so they sleep and they're dormant, but then we get a ton of heat in the summertime, and that's where our sugar comes from. And so that really gives us our advantage in the marketplace, and really why I think we're the peach state. So at Pearson Farm, we grow many different varieties of peaches because a single variety will only ripen up over an 8 to 10 day period. So you're gonna pick that tree every other day for about 10 to 12 days. You know, you'll pick the same tree 5 or 6 times every other day, and then those peaches are gone for that variety. So if you want a nice long summer of peaches, you've got to find varieties to plant in sequential order so you have a nice supply of peaches. So we start with a variety called Flavor Rich in May, and we plant over 40 varieties throughout the summer, and we end in the middle of August with Flame Prince. That's our final variety. These are a couple different varieties of peaches. Like I said, we grow over 40 of them, and each one kind of brings its own personality to the table. So this particular one is a Fire Prince. I know that because it's got kind of a raised suture here. We're in freestone season now, and the freestone season is marked by, you know, when you cut into your fruit and it just comes right off the seed. This peach is phenomenal. Fire Prince is kind of our first freestone peach, followed very closely by a Sierra Rich. And a Sierra Rich is a little more firm flesh. It can hang on the tree a couple days longer than a Fire Prince, but is an absolute delicious peach as well. We've got a lot of different outlets to sell our fruit. Our main source of distribution is through the retail channel. We sell to Whole Foods and Ingles and Kroger and Publix and Walmart, and most anywhere you would buy fruit in Georgia would have Georgia peaches. We love the farmers markets in Atlanta. A good friend of the family's that grew up right here, a guy named John Short, brings our peaches to market up there. He's in, I think, over 40 markets around Atlanta, bringing Pearson peaches there, and John does a great job for us. We also have a mail order department here where We actually pick the peaches, we pack them in these boxes with little foam inserts. UPS picks up every afternoon, and within 48 hours, that box will be on your front steps. And so we can get that box to anybody in the country in 2 days. And so you're able to kind of eat the peaches through the mail. I don't think we treat peaches right when we bring them home. Like typically people will put them in their fridge to make them last longer, and peaches really need to be left on the counter. And you actually want to see the skin start to shrivel just a little bit, and you know at that point it's going to be juicy all the way down to the core. And you might want to eat it over a sink because it'll be a lot of juice coming out.
So as Will McGee and the Pearsons continue this longtime tradition, promoting and selling the state of Georgia's namesake, these sweet Georgia peaches will keep growing on these beautiful trees, sprouting that legendary fruit for years to come. Just a few miles north of Fort Valley, but remaining in peach country, is the town of Mozilla, home to Dunkey Farms.
We've been here a long time, right here in middle Georgia in Mozilla, a little small community, but we've been growing peaches for about 130 years here in Mozilla. My great-grandfather planted the first ones in 1890, and so we've been doing it every year. It's a great life, and we have a wonderful farm family, and just love it here. This is a July Prince, and so it's not quite July, but, but they're starting to get right. Our guys, you know, they pick in the rain, they pick early in the morning and late in the afternoon. It's a hard job knowing which peaches to pick and which ones to leave for next time. Well, our pickers are looking for a peach that's firm, that'll ship and get through our packing process in a box, but we want the optimum color and ripeness, and so it's a very fine line between being immature and so-called green and overripe. And these guys are great in knowing which ones to leave and get a little bit bigger the next time. But we go through every other day picking the ones we want to pick, and the orchard will take probably 2 weeks to harvest. So I just got a great group of dedicated employees. It's so hard being seasonal business to get enough help to pick them and pack them and get them to the packing house on time. And so I'm glad we're out and having a great season this year.
You were saving that one.
Yeah, I just caught that out of my eye.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's how we'll pick them.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
Look at the difference.
Yeah.
Just a couple of days.
Yeah, just probably 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
So that one's still not ready.
That one's still not ready. You see the green shoulder, so we're gonna wait and let it get a little more on it.
All right, put it back on the tree. Just when I thought these fields had a lot of action, I headed to the roadside market, which was selling peach bread and fresh Dunkey Farms peaches in bunches.
Well, my great-grandfather built a new packing house in 1936 on the railroad to ship his peaches, and we're still using it. The railroad's gone, and we've got new modern equipment and automated sizer and those type things in there, but we've turned the top part into a farm market, and it's just great. People from all over the state coming back to the farm, a little small Mozilla, and just to experience a little bit of agritourism and what's going on in rural Georgia.
Now, even though the term Georgia peach never fully lost its popularity, the Dickeys, along with the Pearsons, the Lanes, who we meet in our next story, and a few other regional peach growers, thought it best to join forces and create a genuine Georgia brand, a program supported by Georgia Grown that has successfully given a healthy boost to the brand as a whole and the reputation of the legendary Georgia peach.
4 or 5 families, the Lanes, the Pearsons, the Dickeys, and others that go together and market the fruit. We are great friends and help each other out. And the Georgia Grown program has just been so good at marketing our peaches throughout the country, and it's known for that. And new innovative ways to get Georgia peaches to consumers. We are in major chain stores. We're on direct marketing through Peach Truck and other avenues that take peaches straight to the consumer, mail order, or they can come right here to Mozilla and just get the sweetest, best peaches in the whole world right here. A lot of other states grow peaches, but I think the climate and the soil right here in middle Georgia is the best of anywhere in the country, and we're still just doing a great job marketing and selling sweet Georgia peaches.
From Muzella, we journey back down south to the exact same town we started at Lane Southern Orchards in Fort Valley, Georgia. It all started down here in 1908. The growers knew these peaches were good, and the customers responded and have been ever since.
Well, the Lane family started growing peaches here in this area in 1908. They actually started out as a company called Southern Orchard Supply Company. And now we are Southern Orchards Management, and we're growing 5,000 acres of peaches and 6,000 acres of pecans. We'll start with peaches in January and February. We'll have to go through every one of those peach orchards and prune the trees by hand. They bloom in March, and we'll come back in with more workers and thin the fruit by hand. Every flower on a peach tree will make a peach, and we have to thin about 75% of those off the tree every year. So we'll have enough peaches, but the right size as well. And then the harvest season starts in May, and we'll harvest from mid-May till the 1st of August. A lot of tourists come through our retail store, and the peach season really coincides really well with vacation season. You know, a lot of people are coming from Atlanta or points farther north, going to Florida to visit family. They know it's peach season, so they swing in and pick up some peaches to take with them on their trip.
This massive roadside market and packing house has been an agritourism hotspot since 1990. Not just for the ice cream and peaches, but for all things Georgia grown. And as big as peaches are in these parts, there's another crop that most of all the genuine Georgia peach farmers grow in the off-season. And that's the Georgia pecan. So sweet in its own right.
Well, over the years, we've discovered that peach trees only do well on a certain piece of land for so many years. A peach tree lasts about 12 to 15 years. And then you can replant that same plot of land again with peach trees. But the third time, you have organisms that develop in the soil that make it very difficult to be successful for a third round of peach trees. So what we've started doing is when we plant the second round, we'll also intercept pecan trees in the same row with the peaches, so that in 12 years, when those peach trees have done all they can do and they're ready to be pushed up, we'll remove the peach trees and you have a ready-made producing pecan grove ready to go. That eliminates the lag time between the time you would plant a new pecan tree and the years you have to wait for it to produce.
And that's how things grow around here. Every season there's something sweet, something fresh, and straight from the genuine heart of the peach state. From Fort Valley, we travel south to Morven, Georgia, to another peach farm that's getting creative with peachy products. So after seeing all of those fresh peaches, the peach packing, and of course the famous peach trees, you think you've seen it all. But there's still one more thing, or two, or three. This old sign tells a story, and these trees hope to one day continue that story.
Lawson Peach shed actually started in 1968. My father built this packing shed and packed peaches here all during the 60s, 70s, 80s. Well, this is the original sign that was up out by the highway. This is my father, Howard Lawson. This is where it all started, from this one sign right here. It's over 50 years old. In the last 20 years, we've struggled to make a crop of peaches, mostly from weather. In 2013, we lost the entire crop. 2014, we had a few. 2015, we sort of got out of the packing and shipping peaches. And we brought it back kind of to a small scale, where at least we don't have several hundred acres. If we have a freeze next year, it's not going to be like losing 200 acres at a time.
But regardless, Irvin and Barbara have kept the creative coming. They reinvented their business, and from the looks and, more importantly, the taste of things, there's more to Morven, Georgia than I ever knew.
When we sold some of this packing line, it just left a vacant spot here for something to be here. So we moved the peach market up here where we sell peaches, by-day onions, Georgia melons, jams, jellies, tomatoes, mostly all Georgia-grown products. And it's worked out real great for us. This is the red flash. We have the yellow flash and the red. Both of them are freestones. Freestone peaches, which means the meat separates from the seed. And that's what everybody wants this time of the year. I've tasted peaches from West Coast, from South America, and you just can't compete with the Georgia-grown peach. It's a lot of sugar in it. It's just real sweet.
It's fun to just explore this store and soak in the history. You can see how the old packing plant once worked, and you'll also find out how so many great things can come from peaches. Friends of Barbara and Irvin found that out in the best way possible. Once Barbara first made this ice cream for fun and just for friends, they told her she needed to make more.
So we started with peach, of course, and now the flavors have increased. And we have blueberry, triple chocolate, cookies and cream, butter pecan, strawberry, and we do a vanilla. We need a good ripe peach. We don't need any firmness in that peach. We need it to be sun-kissed just right with the right granules of sugar. So we depend on the sunshine and the good Lord to make that good, sweet Georgia peach.
Is peach the most popular here?
Yes,
All right.
Peach is the #1 seller, and then blueberry, and then butter pecan. The homemade has just more flavor and more peaches.
Do you like the peach ice cream?
I do. I like the peach ice cream and the blueberry ice cream, but she's got all kind of flavors, but I like all of it. And it's all homemade. It's all made right here. It's got the natural ingredients in it, and it's real good.
And another specialty item here at Lawson Peach Shed is our frozen peach lemonade popsicle. This is called a frozen peach pop. Very popular with the kiddos. The special on Sunday at Lawson Peach Shed is our deep fried peach tarts. The tradition is go to church, go get you a good meal, and come to Lawson Peach Shed for a deep fried peach tart with a big dollop of homemade peach ice cream. And when we run out, we run out. Usually about 3 o'clock, we run out. So you better get here before 3. This is our homemade peach lemonade. We make it right here with our peaches. And this is the homemade peach tea. And then we freeze it in this machine right here.
So you can get a peach slushie.
Frozen peach slushie. And we also make a frozen peach lemonade float, which has our homemade peach ice cream.
That's what the customer there was talking about.
Yes, this is a signature item at Lawson Peach Shed. 1 scoop and some frozen Lawson's peach lemonade, and another big scoop of ice cream, more frozen lemonade, spoon, and a straw.
It's a work of art. Look at that. All right, it's a good looking float.
Our season begins May 1st and it ends Labor Day. We're very busy, May, June, July, people coming off the interstate. We have people from Wyoming, from Michigan. People love to come here and just sit and eat their ice cream.
Growing the peaches has became more difficult. The ice cream, the people come for that, so that's worked out real good.
Strong family traditions and tasty additions keep these two going. Great products and good service lead to loyal customers who just keep coming back for another dose of those legendary Georgia peaches, be it solid, liquid, or something creamy in between. So as the roadside markets continue to thrive and Georgia peach products keep flying off the shelves, these growers down here will do their best to keep these sweet blossoms blooming, making the Peach State proud. I'm David Zelski. See you at the next Fork in the Road. Forget the peaches, it's had.
Right.
That's the story.
Yeah, but they're expensive to bring one at $50, $60.